to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Cambo Campbell.
Do you know what I genuinely like about doing this show as opposed to my other show?
Yep.
Episode's out now, by the way, for Council Movie
Everything?
Report.
Is it everything, Cambo?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely not the co-host. Definitely not the format. No, we can record looking like absolute trash because we don't we don't visualize this
garbage.
At all. There was a few times that when we were going to record our other show, I stopped and went, I should get changed.
Annoying.
Even if it's just like a t-shirt or whatever, because I was just wearing like pajamas essentially.
Yeah.
So just know, listening to this, if we feel comfortable, it's because we are.
Yeah, we're so comfy. In fact, that brings me to a point I was going to make.
Great.
Which is, when this airs, I will have recorded my episode with Welcome to Patrick.
Wow.
I believe. They also, they film theirs too, which is annoying.
Yeah, do you have to get dressed up?
Yeah, I'm going to have to look nice. What if I don't? What if I just come looking real trashy?
Yeah, and be like, this is the Reddit on Reddit way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. But yeah, so I'm not sure if it'll release as their next episode. If you just like keep an eye out,
I legit thought you were going to say, I'm not sure if it'll release, but anyway, it'll be a fun time.
It might not. It might not release. I might say some very risque things.
And for those that are saying we've betrayed the show by going on Welcome to Patchwork, we remind you we're bringing it down from the inside.
We've tried from the outside, and it didn't work very well.
It didn't work very well. And it's not that we've just been friends with these guys for a couple of years.
Yeah.
That's not it. It's that we're bringing it down from the inside.
Yeah. It's like people have no idea how to take down a podcast, Cambo.
Success, I would say. They said to me, the episode you were on, lowest numbers we've ever had. I said good. That's exactly what I planned.
That's nice. That's nice. Yes. So welcome to Patchwork eventually. But also I was going to say, somebody in our subreddit said they didn't know what the name of your other podcast is. Mm-hmm. So just for clarity, everybody stop, listen. If you're in traffic, stop.
Yeah.
Cancelled movie report.
I thought you were going to say the Cinema Crew.
Oh, the Cinema Crew. No longer running, unfortunately.
No longer
running. Cancelled movie report.
Yes.
Check it out.
Can I just say as well, when I appeared on Welcome to Patchwork, that same week, just a little bit of my voice was used in a segment on Hamish and Andy. Mm-hmm. And I had a lot of people, it was a do you recognize this voice segment? And I had a lot of people messaging me saying, I thought for sure it was you because I recognized the voice, but it's just because I knew your voice. Like it tricked me into thinking you were the person.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then later that week, someone came up to me and goes, well, someone's on a podcast this week, aren't they? And I've got it saved to listen to. I said, oh, that's cool. And they said, yeah, we love Welcome to Patchwork. I said, whoa. That's not the one I thought. I mean, I do hope you enjoy it, but really, I was on 2 that week, and that was not the one I was expecting.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe Welcome to Patchwork are real famous.
Maybe.
And because we're the rivals, they're our sworn enemy.
Yeah.
We've refused to believe it. Anywho, Cambo, let's get into it. This first Reddit on Reddit is by Fox Potato.
Ooh.
And one of those O's is a 0, Cambo. So I'm not going to tell you which one.
Oh, no.
50.
I would do the O in Fox, I will just say.
You idiot.
Oh, damn
it. This was in the subreddit hypothetical situations.
Yep.
50% off everything or 50 cents every time you hit a punching bag.
Okay.
Option 1.
Yep.
You get a 50% off everything for only you.
Yep.
The price of all things will be divided by 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's classically how 50%.
Yes.
If you buy something, you have to sell it at the price you bought it at or lower.
Oh, okay.
I bet you wanted an example of that, Cambo, because you weren't quite sure what that very clear statement meant.
Please. And
example,
what is 50%? Sorry?
It's when you divide it by 2.
Okay, right.
Yeah. If you buy $1 million house for $500,000, You have to sell it at 500,000 or less.
Oh,
so
okay.
You can't just have infinite money by buying or selling.
Yeah. So it doesn't even appreciate in any way in value.
Oh yeah, that kind of sucks. You should.
Yeah.
Don't you think
if you bought a $1 million house and you waited 20 years, you should be selling it for more than $1 million.
Yeah, that'd be real annoying. Actually,
you know
what? That's what they said. That's the rules, Cambo. That's the risk.
If I brought stock like equity, and I sat on it, I just have to sell it for what I brought it for. Even though I got it for a bargain, I'm not going to lie. I got it divided by 2, Nelson.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, you just can't invest in anything. Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. All right, option 2, 50 cents every time you punch a punching bag. I bet, Cambo, you're like, oh, I've got some really unique way in which I can fool the system here.
Yeah.
But there's a caveat.
Yeah.
You must punch with a closed fist.
Yep.
Okay.
Is that
actually it.
Is that the only rule?
Yeah. Is that not a weird... it's not like where my head first went that I was like, but maybe I can slap the bag.
Yeah. No, yeah. No, because immediately my mind went to, they haven't said the size of the punching bag.
Okay.
And I just want it to be transportable.
Oh, transportable.
Take it to work. I'm punching it all day as I work.
Yeah. Oh, I think I don't have enough money for lunch. Let me just whip out my punching bag. Guys, I'm going to be about 20 minutes so I can pay for my sandwich. I'm trying to work out how much I could punch.
You know what?
My instinct is telling me the punching bag thing because money for nothing is good. But really,
also,
kind of...
You could get fit.
Well, that's what I was thinking, right? Because I was like, if I could just quit my job and instead, when I go to the gym, I just do a lot of punching bag stuff, like, could I maintain my lifestyle? How much would I have to?
Yeah. The question is, and you would need to talk to some kind of expert, but like, realistically, how many punches? Because it doesn't need to be a forceful punch.
Yeah.
Like, does a little tap with a closed fist count? Because how many of those could you do a day? A lot. If you're doing full steam punches with all your might, then you're going to gas yourself. But if it is just kind of like closed fist tap with the hand,
I think I've worked out. Wait, is that about right? I think I've worked out that every day, if I punch a punching bag 700 odd times, over 700 times, then I would get my regular wage. That's every single day, 365 days a year. That's actually quite a lot of times to punch a punching bag, I think.
Yeah, but you can supplement your income. You can still do your job.
I don't want to do my job, Cam.
But you probably wouldn't have to do it full time either.
Yeah, that's true.
But also, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10. I just done.
Yeah, well, you've just counted to 10, Cam.
Well, sorry, I was doing off frame. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? So then if you keep up that pace and do 100 7 times throughout the day, I think that's completely achievable.
That's true. Like, yeah, I think I'm thinking about putting too much force into this, really. You need to put you don't have to put any force at all.
Yeah.
Just has to be closed fist.
As we're talking, Nelson,
you've done 10,000.
That was 50 I just did.
Okay. Yeah.
Here's a great monkey's paw on that, right?
Yeah.
You want the consequence that you didn't think of that is annoying. Every time you punch it, 50 cents just drops out of the bottom of the bag.
Yeah, that's annoying.
So you're still going to scoop up all of the coins and somehow deposit them into your account.
Yeah, that is annoying. That'd be hard to... I feel like you'd get in trouble eventually, right, from tax. Because if you're just depositing a lot of 50-cent coins, eventually somebody's going to be like, you paying tax on this money? Where's this money coming from?
Yeah, and you're like, I don't know how to explain it, but I have a punching bag.
I have a punching bag. I punch it, 50 cents comes out. Okay, bingo bango, that's what happens.
I've checked the tax laws. You've got no rule about it, so...
Yeah. You know what? Maybe what would be good is if this thing, it was about the strength of your punch, depends on how much money you get.
Mm-hmm.
So the little punches you were doing then, that's only like 5 cents. But if you just do like huge king hits, try to really whack it, you might get like $2. So effectively less.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that'd be good. Because then, yeah, sometimes.
But are we both going for the punching? Because I think I am.
Yeah, it just seems more entertaining.
It seems more entertaining, and it also seems actually easier to accrue wealth because you could do it passively. Watch a movie, punch as you're watching a movie.
Yeah, that's true. Although that's like what a lot of people say when they buy their treadmill and put it in front of the TV.
Nelson,
like, yeah, I'll do this both at the same time.
Nelson, you could be so rich. Yeah. Okay.
I could be. I've just got hanging my clothes on the punching bag in the corner of the room. Living in poverty. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I should go for the 50% off thing. No, I'm definitely going for the 50 cent.
Yeah, the fact that nothing can accrue value at all.
Okay, at what value then are you taking the 50%? Like if it's just 5 cents per punch, are you like, that's too low?
Good question. Yeah, 5 cents is pretty low.
That's
because like if punch. You don't have money for lunch and you do, I don't know, 50 punches.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you got $25.
Yeah.
And you saw how quickly I did the 25 punches. So 5 cents. 5 cents.
Yeah.
Would take a lot longer. Literally 10 times longer.
Yeah, 10 times longer literally.
Yeah, then I would maybe lean towards. Okay, loophole.
Yeah. Okay.
When I brought this house.
Yeah.
It was me and Stacey that brought it.
Does
my curse affect her, or can she sell the house without me?
She could sell the house.
So I buy the house, I transfer the deed to her, she sells the house.
We've done it. We've done it. We've done it,
We've done it. I'll take the 50% off, please.
Yes. So easy. Okay. I'm glad we worked that one out. I was worried for a while. I was going to have to start spending my days hitting a punching bag. All right, Kevin, let's move on into Ask Reddit.
Ask Reddit.
This Ask Reddit is by a guy wondering what might women dislike the most if they were to become men. There's actually 2 posts. I don't know which one came first.
Yeah.
But just the opposite. What might men dislike if they were to become women? But I felt like I didn't put that one in because I was like, that's too easy.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of things there that we could easily throw out. But I was like, what would women dislike? Probably, I think they would dislike having more money. Like you have to, that's technically more tax.
You say that the pay wage isn't so fun on the other side.
Like, like it's a real burden when you've got the extra cash rolling around, you know?
Look, honestly, it's all balls related.
That's true. There's an uncomfortable amount of itching that goes on.
Getting kicked in them, if it's too hot and they're sweaty. Even just a small thing that I've noticed at my gym, we have rowing machines.
Yeah.
And that before a guy sits on a rowing machine, there's just one quick adjustment before we sit down on the rowing machine.
Yeah.
Like just little things like that. It's just little ball things.
Yeah, little ball things.
We probably just don't consider that with boobs. Like boobs probably get
yeah, you gotta adjust the boobs sometimes.
Exactly. I mean, not on a rower, but like on various other equipments and such.
Yeah. Well, just even having to wear a bra.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't have that.
Yeah.
Okay, so still worse to be a woman. All right.
Yeah. Look, probably not being able to show any of your emotions in public. I'd love to.
You can't show your
I'd love to. I'd love to let you know. Nelson, I'd love to let you know that I love you as a friend.
What?
And that you mean a lot to me, but I can't. I can't.
That was close, Cambo.
Yeah, now I've got to call you an absolute dickhead.
That's better. Well, here's the tricky thing, right? Because that is, I think, kind of the idea that the obvious separation between men and women.
Yeah.
Is that well, men can't show their emotion as much. But if a woman was to become a man or whatever, she might feel like, yeah, but I just will, and it'll be fine. But I think here's the thing that you don't know about is yes, you can. We all can. But you don't realize, I think, how much more you get judged on it being a man. It's not about the doing it itself. Well, it's about the judgment that sort of comes from it. Although, you know what? In saying that, right, that's not necessary, because that implies that women don't get judged for showing emotion too, which they obviously do. That especially also, women in power, for example.
Yeah.
It's
but they're being judged, Nelson, by men.
Yeah.
To be clear. And also that implies that every man will judge you for showing emotion, which also isn't true. Just a certain kind of man.
Yeah.
But it's what wouldn't they like is, I think, and this is something that I think frustrates Stacey, and I'm going to say most women, is when they become a man, their absolute disregard to get any detail from anyone about anything.
Okay.
Because, I'm sure this has happened to you, right? You've caught up with an old friend that you haven't seen in ages, and maybe they've since been married or had a kid or whatever, and you'll get home and Alan will be like, oh my God, what'd you find out? How's the kid? You'll be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you mean? We didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
What was the wedding like? I don't know.
Yeah.
What'd you guys talk about? I don't know.
Honestly, can't remember.
Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe I do find out these details and no one retains it. But if they would have become a man, maybe they'll be like, oh, now I don't care about detail.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think you dislike that though. Sometimes that's like a burden lifted.
Yeah. How was their divorce? I don't know.
Yeah,
it seemed all right.
Seemed totally fine. Yeah, I think that in the end, it's what did you talk about? I don't know, just YouTube videos, I think. None of the important stuff.
Yeah. Have you ever, I think it's the subreddit, I think it's called Bros Being Bros, but it's just all about how easily men make friends.
Yeah.
And there was one the other day, and it was when Putin went to North Korea.
Yeah.
And it's a video, and in the background you see Putin's bodyguard and Kim Jong-un's bodyguard go and stand next to each other, and they just give each other this small little nod, and then one of them smiles. It's yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's
friends.
They're friends
for life. That's funny. It'd be terrifying being one of their bodyguards, do you reckon?
Oh,
just on the side there?
Yeah. I would say it's probably not Putin's first bodyguard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. To be clear, it's not about that there will be a threat that Putin will be assassinated or Kim Jong-un will be assassinated or something. It's about that they will assassinate you.
Yeah.
Okay. Anywho, Cambo, we should move on into Today I Advice. So now it's time for Today I Learned. What's the intro to that? Today I Learned. And also sometimes advice. You know, I've just realized we didn't really come up with anything that we were just were they to become men.
I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah. We've kind of answered it, haven't we? By not answering it.
We made some jokes about balls and then we moved on.
Yeah. The balls thing, honestly, was the most accurate answer we could have given.
And then we immediately came up with a comparison that's just as bad.
Yeah. All right. This Today I Learned is by Tyrion 2024. Today I learned a 6-year-old boy's family reportedly staged his kidnapping in order to scare him because he was too nice to strangers. His aunt's co-worker lured him to his truck, told him he'd never see his mummy again, and showed him a gun. After 4 hours, his family then lectured him about stranger danger.
This is some Arrested Development shit. Did you ever watch that with the one-armed man, the one-handed man? And the dad keeps scaring the kids into learning these lessons in like more and more gratuitously violent ways. In which a man always loses his hand.
Yeah.
That's why you put the milk back in the fridge.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that is so crazy. Like, I just think, isn't it so sad to think there was a young, charming boy who was very friendly to strangers? And isn't it just already just the nicest thing? Like, I don't know if you've ever had the experience of just like a random kid when you're out at the shopping center or whatever. They don't know you, some kid, and they're just like, hello, how's it going? You're like,
yeah, it's nice.
It's just nice to, be acknowledged. And
I want to know, because there must have been other steps before this. What else did they try? Did they show them a movie about a kidnapped child? There's plenty of those.
Oh, yeah. Like start with something like that.
Yeah, like surely this isn't step one.
I reckon it was, they started with, oh, you don't be too nice to strangers. You don't know how dangerous they are. And to the kid going, whatever, to then the kidnapping. Yeah. I don't think there was any more steps. I just have a feeling, because I think if you're these parents, you're not really thinking very clearly. But yeah, just the fact that they've obviously must have now crushed this kid's spirit forever.
And now, what if he becomes the kidnapper?
That is so likely, isn't it? Like, legitimately, it seems like one of those things. Yeah. It's a traumatic experience. We know, unfortunately, stuff like sexual abuse creates sexual abuse, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think this could be the same sort of thing. Kidnapping inspires kidnapping.
Yeah, well, I mean, the data will prove us right in the long run, I feel, Nelson.
Yeah. What we should do, we need to do some controlled studies.
Yeah.
We'll kidnap 10 children and follow them around for 10 years, and then follow another group of kids around for 10 years that hadn't been kidnapped.
Yeah.
And then see who's more likely to be kidnapped. Kidnappers in future. I think it's a good study.
I think so.
We could get a grant for that.
We probably could.
We'll start with this kid.
Not through a legitimate source, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, the Russian mob
CD men or something. I think, yeah. Pretty sad for this kid.
Yeah, that's it's so sad that there are parents out there that, I don't know. It's that thing of like, not everyone should be a parent. It's like, really, this is how you're going to try and teach your kid?
What's your strategy then for stopping a kid from being too nice to strangers? See, I feel like that I don't see that as being a problem necessarily. It's not about being too nice. That's fine, kind of, within bounds. I would want to encourage a kid to be nice to people.
I bet you that where this happened is like a fine place, Like, I would say around where I live, it's very nice, and the crime rate is near zero. Like, it's a very kind of rural, small town that I live in. So I would be far more comfortable with my kid going out and being nice to strangers than if I was living in somewhere a little bit more dangerous. And what I'm saying is, I bet you where this family wasn't dangerous.
Yeah,
they were just overprotective.
I mean, that's like, my mum, I think, had some pretty unrealistic fears about. She used to tell my sister a lot, like, if you're ever by yourself, there's gonna be a bad man that would come and kidnap, and it used to terrify my sister.
Stranger danger in the 90s was a real thing.
Yeah.
Like, there was this fear that you would get snatched off the street, kind of like in the 80s there was the satanic panic where Satanists who are trying to corrupt kids with D&D and all this other stuff. That you're like, oh, was that overblown and for some weird political message? Oh, yeah, it turns out it was, yeah.
I would love to know the stats because it's a weird thing. Because you're like, okay, well, you don't, kidnappings do happen.
Yeah.
So you want your kids to be somewhat cautious. Here's what I think you should do. Kidnap them. Stage a kidnapping. Terrify the child to the point of tears. Then ice cream.
But then positive reinforcement. Do they want to get kidnapped because they know afterwards?
Yeah. But then halfway through their ice cream, smash it out of their hand.
Here's what I would do. Realistically, I can't say this for all kidnappings, but most kidnappings are about money, right?
I would say not so much. I would say most kidnappings are about other nefarious things.
Yeah, or even I would say probably the most of them are like family related. Like I would say probably on volume, it's probably like a parent that doesn't have custody technically.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, that's probably number one. Number two is probably pedophiles.
Yeah.
Number three is like, I don't know, in Bolivia or something.
Yeah.
When they're kidnapping for money or something like that.
So you need to go, look, third option, we don't have any money. So no one's kidnapping you for money.
Yeah.
They're not going to get much from us.
Yeah.
For the first option, we have a solid marriage. Your mom, your dad, whatever, they're not going to kidnap you. So just stay away from pedophiles. All right, bye.
All right, bye. What do they look like? Oh, they could look like anyone.
Yeah.
Men and women. Yeah. It happens both times. So
there's no age bracket. There's no gender. Anyway, have a good one.
Have a good day at school.
I'll drop you off a couple 100 meters from the school. You can walk up alone.
Yeah. I'll pick you up eventually. Just wait outside the gate. And
obviously, if someone's offering a lift, a free lift is a free lift.
I would appreciate that, if anything. Yes. Anyway. Okay. I think we should move on.
Okay.
Gambo. And get into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
This shower thought was cross-posted to us by Gone Fish Caking, but it was originally by Happy Da. They probably do make them like they used to, but we won't know which ones they are for several decades.
I understand the sentiment of this, but it's weirdly phrased.
It is weirdly phrased, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time they won't make them like they used to, for the pure reason that they used to make stuff, and it would be more expensive to produce.
Yeah,
because they use I don't know if you remember at all any like toys or anything that you had when you were a kid, but they were like solid plastic, like, hardy toys, some stuff with like metal in it and whatnot. Now there's I would say a lot less metal in toys unless it's part of electronics.
Yeah. And
the plastic that's used is way less as well.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, kind of, because you're like, yep, want to use less plastic, but also it just makes stuff more flimsy, but it's also way cheaper to produce. I think the idea is that not like the idea that they, making it like they used to just comes down to more of an economic thing rather than them purposefully building something that doesn't last. That's not the purpose.
It also depends on what you're talking about. There's different categories of this. Mm-hmm. I would say people say this about clothes, right? Oh, I don't make them like they used to. Clothes these days are disposable or whatever. But to your point, they had a higher cost. A plain white T-shirt, let's say. That's a very basic foundation of clothing. If you're buying a $5 T-shirt from Kmart or Target or wherever your local thing is, it probably won't be as well made as it was in the 50s. Mm-hmm. But in the 50s, it wouldn't have been $5 for them.
Yeah.
That would have been like a $30, $40 thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is, no, they are not making them like they used to. To keep that price low, they have to make them cheaper and they don't last. But
if you were to buy a $30 white T-shirt now, you need to compare that to the $30 white T-shirt that they pay, or equivalent value back in the day. It's like you need to compare those two things and to see if that, if that comparison is
exactly.
Correct.
And people have actually done this with the brand Carhartt. It's well known as a bit of it's an American brand and it's a workwear brand. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing about Carhartt is you get a Carhartt jacket, that'll last you forever kind of thing.
Yep.
But Carhartt also sold their brand or licensed their brand to a subsidiary that makes
I
Carhartt
think we've spoken about this on
work
the podcast
in progress, which is a fashion brand.
Yeah.
So a lot of people saying, "Oh, Carhartt's not as good as it used to be." No, it is.
Yeah. They've got their own products.
Exactly. If you were just to buy the regular old Carhartt, it is still really well constructed. It'll last you a long time. If you had to buy the cheaper fashion one, it's a fashion item. Like it's not built to go be out on the work sites.
Yeah, that's right. Also, I feel like there's things like let's say mobile phones, right?
Yeah.
You going by the phrase, they don't make them like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there is a case for. I mean, it's like really basic and broad, right? But like, you think about the classic like Nokia, or whatever, 3310 or something, referred to as a brick phone. You just like could not destroy it. Cars could roll over it and stuff. But then it's like, then we developed technology that we prefer more.
Yeah.
And due to that, they became more flimsy in design. And so we have to accept that we had this trade-off.
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of comes into it a little bit as well. It's like you want something that's better, but is gonna make it more flimsy. Then that's on you.
Do you want Snake on your phone or do you want the internet?
Yeah.
Because one of them can do one and one of them can do the other. The other thing I think that I would say older makes me more nervous is houses. If you're looking at a house, you're like, oh, this house was constructed in the 60s. You go, okay. What will we need to update now to get this house? What are the beams under the house? I bet you it doesn't have heated ducting through the house, kind of thing.
It's funny you say that because I think also the opposite is true too. There are a lot
if you're buying off like an allotment,
that are put up. Like I would say perhaps apartments these days are so much built so cheaply.
I should specify this is from the son of a builder.
Yeah.
My dad built the house that we grew up in as a kid.
And it's falling down.
It's gone. He didn't do a very good job.
That's true. There is, I guess, I don't know, the wear and tear of that. I just think that if you build a house now, majority of the time, and that lasts 60 years, and you compare it to a house
you're right. If you're buying a house from a construction company that sell entire suburbs worth of houses, you're probably
they're
right.
basically paper mache. A lot of them made up. Yeah, it's really bad, especially because so I was working in the property management industry for a little bit, which is obviously. We were looking after properties of investors, people that were buying an apartment to rent out. And that's what makes it so disgusting is because the apartments or even townhouses that are built aren't going to be occupied by the people buying them. So they don't really give a shit about the quality. Yeah. They're just like, I just want 4 walls and a door that I can rent out to somebody else that will hopefully in future I'll be able to sell for way more.
Yeah.
I
remember my brother built a house once, and it was through one of those companies where you go and like you select the house you want, kind of thing, from a preset bunch of houses that they build. And he wanted to use one of the rooms as a cinema room.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, when we're building it, is it possible, like, can we just take there's a big window in the back of it.
Yeah.
Can we just not do the window there so we can keep it dark? And they were
Yeah.
like, no. Like,
Yeah.
no, we build this house.
Yeah,
Like, you can change, I don't know, the hardware on your kitchen handles or whatever.
Yeah,
but, like,
exactly, yeah.
You can't actually change the house.
Yeah, we've got like a cookie cutter process, and no, thank you. Yeah, that's true. That's a bit of a bummer. I say build your own house, like your dad can be, even if you don't have the skills. Just do it.
Yeah, just give it a crack.
Yep. And don't come to us.
Oh yeah. Sorry, we should have started with that. Never come to us for anything.
Okay, wait. I really want to quickly do this one.
Yeah.
This is by VR Oreo. There's something oddly unsettling about knocking on someone's door fewer than 3 times.
I would love the power move of just knocking once. You go up to the door and go.
Once is crazy. But you know what, Kevin? I was thinking about this and I was like, you know what? I reckon I knocked twice.
Yeah, twice
probably
is fine.
most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little like, knock, knock, I'm here.
Yeah.
In fact, 3, I think, is almost impatient. Or it's like a bit more demanding. And I knock twice if I'm like going to a friend's place or something. I'm like, knock, knock, I'm here. You're expecting me, I'm here. If I knock 3 times there, I think it's rude.
Here's a question. If you knock 5 times, do you need to do it in a little pattern? Din, 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 din.
But no din din.
Otherwise, it's like din, 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 din.
Yeah. That to me is the person at the door needs to go to the bathroom. 4+ knocks is like, oh, they're busting. And they have nowhere else to go. Open that door quickly. Or they're being murdered, I guess.
I think
time of day is important.
I think I knocked twice.
Yeah,
definitely. One after the other.
1's insane. 2's normal. 3, I think, is weird. 4+ is I need to go to the bathroom.
Do you want to hear a fun, pointless fact about knocking twice?
Oh, go.
I don't think I've said this on the podcast before, but tell me if I have. Are you familiar with the iconic Netflix noise?
Yep. Dun, dun.
Dun, dun.
Yeah.
Do you know who made that noise?
No.
That noise is made by Kevin Spacey.
Oh.
Because I bet you Netflix don't like you knowing about that anymore.
Yeah. Keep that one to yourself.
The first Netflix original series is House of Cards. And there's a plot point in House of Cards. He wears a ring. He has like a signet ring in that show.
Yeah.
And when he finally becomes the president in that show, at the end of the season, he looks down the barrel of the lens and he knocks on the desk of the office of the White House twice. He goes, dun-dun. And that is the Netflix noise that you hear every time.
Oh, that's funny because like in my head,
remixed
Netflix just had that sound for so long. But because House of Cards, like I feel like I had Netflix before House of Cards was out. So then that
House
means
of Cards, at least for the streaming thing, that was like either that or Orange Is the New Black was their first production that they produced.
Yeah, but they had existed for a lot longer. They used to like mail people stuff.
Their logo used to be a click. It was red and white, and it had a little click to it. And now it's a kind of a more modular.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Right. Anyway, very interesting.
That's 2 knocks. 2 knocks from a predator that started a company logo.
Oh, was he ever convicted, Gambit? No, I'm just joking.
He was actually specifically not convicted.
Yeah. I know. That's what I was alluding to.
Yeah,
but then I also wanted to quickly say, let's not necessarily say that he's innocent because he wasn't convicted.
Didn't say that, Nelson. Didn't say that.
Let's get into podnapping.
Oh my God! I'm being podnapped.
Podnapping.
This is podnapping, where we nap a pod. We take a topic of conversation or a segment from another thing, and we do it ourselves.
It is my week this week. I'm not going to lie. Pretty flimsy connection I've made here, Nelson.
That's fine.
But as we are recording this, we're in the release week of Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say the Olympic Games, Cambo.
No.
Notice I did not touch on that at all during the show. Could have picked up a post or two. Decided nobody gives a shit. So,
exactly. Don't worry if you haven't seen it. This will not spoil anything. Mm-hmm. I actually came across a video where they were playing a game on the promotional tour of Deadpool and Wolverine and thought, that's fun.
Yeah, okay.
So because Ryan Reynolds and the director Sean Levy are Canadian and Hugh Jackman is Australian, there was a quiz that pits Canada versus Australia.
Okay.
And I thought, let's do that. Now, it's not the longest quiz in the world because it had to be done in a press junket for a social media video. So there's only about 7 questions. But
okay, that's fine.
I thought we should pit. Some of them, it's either a Canada or Australia answer. Some of them are more about the country. And then some of them I've had to adjust because it was so specific to the people.
Okay.
Question 1. Which has the bigger land mass, Australia or Canada?
Ooh, Canada is pretty big. And Australia is pretty big. Oh, God, that is really tricky. I am tempted to say I'm going to say Australia.
It was Canada.
Shit. I was so close to it. I should have gone with my gut. God damn it.
You were right, though. There's not a huge difference in it. Canada is slightly bigger than Australia.
Yeah.
And when I say not a huge, it's probably still like hundreds of kilometers, but relatively speaking. Which country is older, Canada or Australia? So as far as being established as a country,
okay,
being established as a country, which is older?
Is there going to be some tricky question here? Because
I will say this: it's not as different as you think. Canada is a relatively young country, as is Australia.
Mm-hmm. Both part of the Commonwealth, which probably comes into it. I mean, I'm just going to definitely go with my gut here and say so what am I saying? The younger one?
Oh, no, which one's older?
Older, sorry. I would say Canada then.
Okay, I can tell you. Do you know the year that Australia was founded?
1963.
Yeah, it was. No, it was 1981. No, 1901.
Yep. Okay.
1901. Canada, 1867. So it's less than 40 years.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So in terms of countries, they're both relatively young.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which country technically invented the telephone?
I feel like you said technically there. Because I actually want to say Australia. But you've said technically, which makes me think some Canadian dude.
Do you know who invented the telephone?
Yes. Bell. Somebody Bell.
Alexander Graham Bell. Born in Scotland.
Yeah. But technically, some dude in Australia. Yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy Telephone.
Jimmy has a going.
So you're going with Australia?
Yep, sure.
It's actually Canada.
Alexander
Graham Bell was born in Scotland, but he became a Canadian immigrant, and he invented the telephone while he was in Canada.
Oh, okay. I thought there was just going to be some technical, actually, there was a
He stole it, like a lot of them did back then.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Like Thomas Edison and all this shit.
Yeah. I think you'll know this one, but this was in the video. Which country invented Wi-Fi?
Oh, I can't remember. Oh, yeah, was it Australia?
It was Australia, yeah.
Was it in Melbourne or something?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yes. Which country has more serial killers?
Ooh.
Now, Canada famously polite.
Yeah. I'm going to say
Australia
Canada,
famously with Ivan Milat,
we definitely
notorious serial killer.
Yeah, we don't have. I would say that probably both don't have heaps in comparison to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say Canada.
I can tell you, Australia has 22.
Oh.
Canada has 106, Nelson. They've got way more than us.
A death trap, Canada is.
Now, this one I've actually I've had to adapt this. So I'm actually going to give you a link, and I want you to view a recent tweet by Katy Perry. Okay?
Okay.
And I want you to read the tweet and then I want you to also tell me what's wrong with the tweet.
Okay.
This is more of an Australian test.
Okay, this is so I'm reading it out.
Yeah. And then tell me what's wrong with it.
Aussies, I'm so excited to be back in Australia and back at the mighty MCG to perform in front of 100,000 of the best and loudest fans in the world at the Telstra pre-game entertainment for the 2024 Toyota AFL Grand Final. See you in September. Oi, oi, oi.
Now, this got made fun of. This is something I think only an Australian would notice, Nelson.
Failure, Katy Perry.
What is the mistake she's made?
She said, I want to pronounce it differently. But technically, I don't think I can.
No, it's pronounced the same.
She's spelled oi, oi, oi. O-Y, O-Y, O-Y.
Yes.
But Aussies say O-I.
O-I. Oi!
Which...
Because that one to me reads more like kind of the older Hasidic Jewish man being like, oi, 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 you know?
Oi, oi, vey.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is funny, Kevin. We might touch on to this in the Ask Me Anything. But anyway, let's keep going.
Now, this is one that came up. I guess this is technically a Canadian thing, though I didn't know this, but they asked the question,
maple syrup.
What does FUBAR stand for?
Well, the only one I've heard of, I don't actually know if this is technically correct, but it's fucked up beyond all recognition.
Yes, or repair. There seem to be split on what they are. But is that a Canadian thing? I
didn't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know where for some reason, I feel like I got that from some sort of military movie.
Yeah. I think they say it in Saving Private Ryan.
Right, yeah. Maybe that's where I got it from. I don't know.
Anyway, I don't know why they asked that, but that was in the Australia versus Canada quiz. And lastly, this one was very specific to the person in the interview. Hugh Jackman turned down a role on which Australian TV show when he was younger?
Oh, well, it's got to be either Neighbours or Home and Away.
Which one are you going to go for?
Was he in either of them? Wait, where's he from? He's from... Well, he lives in Sydney now.
Yeah. Oh, but where did he grow up?
Where did he grow up? Because Home and Away is famously in Sydney or New South Wales, rather.
I will say he seems very Sydney-coded.
He does.
But let's find out where he was born. Hugh Jackman was born in Sydney. Yeah, there you go.
And it seems like more of his like shirtless vibe in Home and Away.
So we're going to go with Home and Away.
No, I'm going to change it to Neighbours.
It is Neighbours. Yes, well done. That is the Canada versus Australia quiz brought to you by Deadpool and Wolverine in cinemas now.
Oh, it's in
Sorry, I'm getting paid for that. I should have disclosed.
Okay. Good job, Cambo. I've lost the email. No, I've got it. And now it's time for the Ask Me Anything.
You got the question. We have the answers. So ask us anything at all.
This is the Ask Me Anything, where listeners of the show, just like you, listener, can write in and ask us anything you want.
Got one here from Hasm. I'll start with this one. Gents, the sick children and the guide dogs got some support on your behalf. Perhaps you can even leverage the guide dogs into the gold dog operation. Congrats on the upcoming naturals, Hasm. That is very nice. Thank you, Hasm.
Yes, thank you, Zimba.
You did not need to do anything, but we very much appreciate that you support those charities.
Cambo, look, there's a scam here, and I'm not quite sure what it is or how to exploit it.
It's called a fake charity.
Here's what's But here's what's happened. Yeah. Is Zimbo very politely has donated to a couple of charities on our behalf for getting married, but neither of us are technically married yet. I just think in some way, like if we cancel our engagements and then re-engage those engagements, is Zimbo obligated to give us another present, perhaps?
Obviously, I want to marry Stacey, you want to marry Alan.
Yeah.
But what if? Cancel those engagements, then I'll get engaged to Ellen, you get engaged to Stacey. Another present. Because we actually want to marry the other way, call off those engagements.
Because of those engagements.
Back to the original engagement.
Again. We could permanently fund the Royal Children's Hospital and Guide Dogs Australia with Zimbo's generosity. Right. We've done it. Good.
Something to think about.
Yeah. We could have probably solved like world hunger or something like that as well too, if we had a thought.
But we had to get married, didn't we?
Oh, God. All right, we've got one here from Liz. She says, oi.
Now, how is she spelling that one, Nelson?
O-Y. It's
O-Y.
funny because Liz has written into us quite a few times and occasionally has started with O-Y.
Oi. Yeah.
Oi. And I've never said anything about it, picked up on it, because I was like, I get it. But now that we've made a thing of it in the Podnapping,
I like to think she is going, oi, I live in North Carolina.
Oi. Okay. Oi. I live in North Carolina. 2 weeks ago, NC beaches had a few, which is exactly a few too many, shark attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And last week, NC beaches saved over 100 people many days in a row to riptides.
Mm-hmm.
Which of these two things do you find more frightening? Ta-ta, Liz.
I think I find riptides more scary because I think the risk is greater to get me.
Yeah.
Like, I know Australia is famous for like we have great white sharks and stuff around here, but not generally where we go to the beach.
Yeah.
They're pretty good about knowing where we could swim. So I'm not too afraid about sharks when I go to the beach. However, riptides, we have entire
Riptides
TV
are
shows.
so close. But
We have entire TV shows dedicated to surf lifesavers because it's such a common thing that happens in this country.
Yeah.
That they have to be saved.
Yeah, riptides, I think I never really understood them until one day I was caught in one with my brother, actually. And we just, the scary thing was, all of a sudden, we realized we were way further away from the beach and also like horizontally further away. So not just further out, but further to the side.
Down the beach.
And we were like, oh, shit. And my brother Steve was like, hey, Nels, I think we're caught in a rip. And I was like, oh, yeah, shit. And he's like, all right, well, like you have to swim sort of horizontally to it to kind of get out of it. And so we started doing that. And it was really tiring. Like, I'm not an amazing swimmer at all. Probably that time, actually, I was probably swimming a little bit more. So it was a bit more confident than I'd say I am now. But, you know, I was an amazing swimmer, but sort of strong enough. And I got really tired. And it just feels like you're not gaining any ground at all. Like, I was paddling for like ages, trying to get out of it, and just, you know, felt like I was getting an inch further out of it each time. And then obviously I did. I'm here. And then I'm alive.
But we never did see Steve again, so.
Yeah, that was a bad yeah, so after that point, that has made me way more terrified. Because I was like, it would be very easy for me to just be like, yep, I'm bugging now. Yeah. And like I'm too tired to swim more.
Were you swimming between the flags?
There were no flags at this beach that we were at.
This is the problem.
I should have swum between the flags. Yeah. Anywho. Sharks. I could take a shark.
You can't punch a riptide in the nose.
Yeah, I've tried. I tried to punch that riptide in the nose.
Like, I don't know if you remember the footage of surfer Mick Fanning, Australian surfer, getting ready to catch a wave in a surf competition. Shark jumps him and he punches it in the nose.
Yeah.
And then it became quite a thing of like what a legend. Shark jumps him and just punches it in the face.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that to a riptide.
Yeah.
We were like, all right, see you, mate. Bye. Off you go.
Yeah. Yes. Anywho, thank you for writing in, Liz and Zimbo. If you'd like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast @gmail.com. You can also reach us at our subreddit or our Discord. The link is in the show notes. We'd appreciate it if you could subscribe to the show if you're not already.
Yeah.
And really think about how much of a burden that would be to subscribe to us.
Yeah.
Which is to say, None at all.
None at all. And of course, when the episode of Welcome to Patchwork comes out with Nelson, have a listen to that.
Listen to that. It'll be like eventually.
Yeah. And have a listen to Cancelled Movie Report.
And Cancelled Movie Report. So anyway, thanks for listening, and we will read you later.